it's also because it's in other areas. Like you said, the time is right. I mean, the so many people are talking about it in the FAA as it relates to air travel.
Oh God.
And so because it's in the public consciousness now, which is great, that's the time to strike and to talk about everywhere that it's infected. And universities,
and it's everything. Everything is infected. Literally, I mean, Elon kind of, started calling it the woke mind virus, and it really has been like this virus that's just infiltrated literally every aspect of our society, whether it's entertainment, whether it's, the law, whether it's, anything, pilots, whatever, schools, anything that you can possibly think of. This DEI stuff is infiltrated, and it's just people are being hired not for their merit but for the color of their skin. Really, that's what's happening. It's kind of ridiculous.
And I think that it was allowed to survive this long because people viewed it as harmless, because they viewed it as, we just want to get along. It's not this. Now it's clear
it's progress.
What it is. Right. And they were able to say, you just are misogynist. That's it. You're just a misogynist, right? Yeah. Now they're not able to say that because there's a coalition of all sorts of people from all sorts of backgrounds that are pointing at this, saying like, this is weird. We don't want to have any part of this.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just, like the random one, like constitutional law nerd who's like, this is not going to work out really well, guys. It's everybody who's seeing this, and we're seeing it in real life. And frankly, with the airline stuff, I don't want to see fatalities over this, but I mean, you're messing with things you should not mess with, because like when you get to people's lives, it's just not something you play with. Like especially whenever we talk about stuff like standards for firefighters, police officers, military, pilots, like these are things that should not be touched.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I want my firefighter to be able to pick me up and drag me out and not have to call for help, right? Like that's not okay. We're both going to be dead.
Yeah, because I want him to save me, not be able to not say like, let me go get someone else for this.
Yeah, I'm a break a nail. Like I'm actually having my male period right now, so let me go call the next.
This is really triggering for me right now. Just a second.
This
my
is
mental health. I'm taking my mental health moment.
I mean, I can't believe that that's actually a conversation that we have to even have. That like one of the airlines said that like we're open to like hiring mentally ill people, and I was like, what is this world that's coming to?
That was
schizophrenics can get a job
as pilots, and they specifically mentioned it as pilots. Like, we're looking to get mentally ill people in the cockpit.
And blind and deaf, and the thing is, I'm sure there are many. They said this is who they didn't specifically say in the cockpit.
No, I know,
they said at the airline. Yes.
Still.
And that's not the standard by which you should be hiring people. And I think it took it getting to this place where lives are on the line at the airlines. If you think about doctors and medical school, things like that, I think that's it. It took it getting to there for then everyone to be willing to start to address it in all these other places too. Like there's just sort of this attitude that like, well, if DEI is ruining entertainment, but it's just entertainment,
right?
Right.
And that is until go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, they don't look at actual human beings who are affected by it, who get passed over in hiring in the writer's room, who don't get promoted, because I've heard writer's assistants say this. They don't get promoted, and they're told flat out it's because you're a white man and we need to hire an outside writer to fill this position instead of promoting you, because the demographic of the writer's room wouldn't look right now. They don't look at that as tragic, but if their life's on the line,
I've gotten this from so many, like I know actor friends of mine, white male actor friends of mine, who say the same thing. Like, I mean, like there's no jobs for them out there at all. Like it's just basically like if you're a white male, you can't get a job acting right now unless it's like a specific part for something. Pretty much, yeah.
You gotta go work for an alternative. You gotta go work outside. By the way, this super chat, let me answer this because this is one actually a framing that I used last night, which is, are you saying that a Pyrrhic victory for Disney would be a victory for Gina? How much damage needs to be done for a Gina win? Disney shills might try to spin it as a victory for Disney. No, by the way, Disney stills will always, this is what I've learned from covering for Disney for a year, because I've been on the Disney issues, as you know, more than anybody else. I actually try to do other stuff, but then Disney constantly has news. So I literally cannot stop I actually want to add other topics and I want to cover other things too, but I don't have time. I literally don't have time. So with that, everything they do, they will try to warp it and spin it and lie and put out counter PR. It's mind blowing how much Disney, specifically Disney, controls the media and controls the narrative. They have a massive influence on the public psyche. But that said, we need to think in two different ways: a strategic victory and a tactical victory, right? So a tactical victory is something like winning a particular motion or winning a jury trial, right? That might be a tactical victory, but the strategy is to expose Disney. The strategy is to get this information out there. And Gina said it on her interview with Glenn Beck, that her interest is getting the truth out there.
Yeah.
Right? Is for people to see this, right? That's her real interest. So it is a win for Gina if she's able to accomplish that. Just in the same way, not the case facts are completely different, right? Different case. But with Johnny Depp, he wanted to get his truth out there about his side of the story because he had been lied about. In this case, about the truth, that is Gina's objective, is the truth. So in that case, for Gina, because this is Gina, she's the client, I think she will be happy if her side comes out, even if the jury finds against her. Right? Because obviously it's always possible. It's always possible for a jury to find against you. However, with the documents out there, that would be such a blow. And mind you, this case may take 2 years. Case with there's other similar cases I compared to which have taken 2 years. Bob Iger may not last 2 years, right? The Disney Corporation on this trajectory may not last 2 years, right? I'm being serious. I mean, dead serious. In terms of where they're at, right? They're not going to go away.
Kathleen Kennedy will always be around. I don't know what you're talking about.
She does never go away.
She's never going
No, but
away.
this lawsuit actually does open the possible doors to giving her an exit that she's not going to be able to do shit about.
Yeah.
Because if it comes to a point where, because she is going to be at the center of this whole thing. We've kind of thrown this out there as devil's advocate. Andrew and I have a couple times. I'm like, let's just say for the sake of argument, they decide to settle and Gina will settle, but it's only for exactly what she's asking for. Well, the only way they facilitate that is if basically Kathleen Kennedy is out the door instead.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think that's going to happen.
No, but I'm just saying as a good possible scenario, that's like,
it would be an interesting
it's the closest we've ever gotten.
It's a theory that you cannot dismiss. I cannot dismiss that as a theory, but it may or may not happen.
Yes, and I think that is the only way that she may possibly be interested in getting her role back or like start working with them again is if Kathleen Kennedy is gone. Like she'll be like, I'm not working with that bitch again. Like there's no way. So
well, and she says in the
part of it.
She says in the filing that, you know, Favreau talked to her about this Mando movie that's coming up. So she was meant to be in this.
Yes.
So, and you brought up, Andrew, that they could injunction, you said, put on the movie to where they couldn't even film it, but
so you can place what's called injunction, right? Temporary injunction, because one of the remedies, right? The remedy is to put her back in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And into the films. So what is the only thing that would be proper while this case is being decided, to pause the movie. So Charmin Chenoy's movie gets paused.